Excuse me. Hey, how you doing? What up, guys? This Nick back here with another video, and today I'm gonna be doing something a little different. I'm not painting anything or doing anything like that today. Today I'm just talking to you guys. During the course of one of my other videos, I went into a little tangent about doing things as far as going to conventions and stuff like that. And I've been having a lot of people come to me and ask me about what I typically like to do, or how do they go about getting into convention, and what is the atmosphere like, and you know, what are some of the do's and don'ts that you would do, like some of the things that, you know, I wouldn't, so I don't have to learn the hard way. So, you know what I'm saying, what are some tips you can give me? So I came up with the idea to make this video because I feel like it can help, you know, because I do a lot of stuff. So I think that that this would be a good video to make as far as for a lot of people. So the first thing I would do, I'll start off with by just figuring out which conventions to even get into. Like, if you just starting out and you don't have a good portfolio or body of work or anything that you could sell, I would say you need to start with a lower level one, just to see. The first thing you need to do is to find out if your stuff is actually sellable. Are people willing to spend money on what you're doing? If they are, then that's good. If they aren't, then you might want to consider either changing what you do. I'm not saying give up, but I'm saying changing what you do, or you know what I'm saying, just focusing on selling something else. Like, because your art can sell in different forms. It don't have to be like, just because I sell paintings and canvases and stuff like that doesn't mean that I couldn't pivot it to something else. So that's the main thing I would do. I would figure out, are people willing to buy your artwork? If they are, then now you just need to put it in a place where it's going to be a lot more people there. That's the first thing. So figuring out which conventions to get into. For me, I live in Memphis, Tennessee, so I'm in the South. One thing I will say is that southern cities tend not to spend as much money. I'm not saying that they don't spend. I'm not saying that at all. But they don't spend as much money as Midwestern or northern cities. That's what I would say. Because every time I went to Kansas City, I've made great money there. You know what I'm saying? And I went to Kansas City, I went to Chicago, I went to Cleveland, Columbus, all this type of places. You know what I'm saying? Like New York, I've been trying to get in New York Comic Con, but I still haven't got accepted into that one. But you know, all those ones in the Midwest, farther north, stuff like that, they tend to treat you well. You know what I'm saying? So as far as making money. Now the ones in the South, like, you're gonna make money. Let me reword that, because it's a certain level of overhead cost. after you clear your overhead costs, how much money are you bringing then? That tends to be better in the northern cities than the southern cities. You will make money in the southern cities. I don't want to say it. But anyway, back to the original point. The conventions, you need to know which conventions to choose. The easiest ones, I think, to get into are the fan expos. Outside of any ones that's local to you, like a up and coming convention they're trying to build, like it's one in Memphis called the Memphis Comic Expo that they've been doing for like the past like 4 or 5 years. It's smaller than the Anime Blues Con that we normally get. That's like the biggest one that we get here, and I still haven't been able to get into that one because like it seemed like everybody who's in it rebooks it immediately. So like the past couple years I tried to get into it, couldn't get into it because they said all the tables were sold out before like I couldn't even apply. Like they didn't even let me apply. So, but you know, sometimes that's just how it goes. Like some of them you can't get into. So like a lot of those are, the competition is so stiff that you have to, like, once you're in it, you got to stay in it. Like soon as you make the money at the convention, you need to rebook it right then. So that way you have your spot for the next year. So that's kind of how it goes. So one of the easier ones to get into is the fan expos. I've never really had a problem with it. Like it's a good crowd. You see a good hefty amount of people to come through, and like it's not like where you like, oh well, I paid this money, but and are there going to be thousands of people come through to see, you know, so I can make the money back? Yeah, it's plenty of those. Like it's going to be plenty of people to make your money back. So fan expo will be a good one. They're going to review your portfolio just to see what type of stuff you're selling. But usually, from what I've seen, if you drop that bread off, they gonna let you in. Like it's usually what I've seen, because I've seen some people who have not so over the top artwork. You know what I'm saying? It could be very minimal. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause people buy minimal stuff, so it don't have to be no over the top boom masterpiece. You know, like if you sell what's it called with the little chibi or whatever it's called, the mini characters or whatever. You know how they have anime characters, then they have like the little mini version of them, like that. You know what I'm talking about? They say it's people who draw those very simple stuff, like, and they sell those and they get it, and I see them in there all the time. So yeah, so that's something that fan expos I would say is a good one to get into. Find out what the local it's always a local big anime convention that comes to any city. Like I said, in Memphis it's Anime Blues Con. I know in Kansas City it was Planet Anime Con. It was Planet Anime. I know Fan Expo used to be called Wizard World. In Chicago, I know they have the Fan Expo and they have Anime Central. The Las Vegas Comic Con, that's a good one, local one from there. And then you got stuff like DreamCon and all of that big stuff. But you know, DreamCon is just like New York Comic Con. It's hard to get into. So those are the things. Those are some good entry level ones to get into. Oh, Collecticon too. One thing I would say about that one, Collecticon was it was different because it focuses more on the trading card, like Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, collectible items, comic book items, stuff like that. It's a good way to if you're an artist, it's a good one to go into because the competition is low. So like, yeah, you'll be in there with V1 Tech and who else, Dominique Glover and all of them. But you know what I'm saying, after those people, like a lot of artists don't go to those, like Artist Alley type artists, they don't go to those because it don't seem like it'll be a convention for Artist Alley. But you know, which I don't think it does have an Artist Alley. I think everybody's just a vendor. You know what I'm saying? But if you go in there, you can make a lot of money. Because I think when I went, I made a good amount of money leaving there, and I took a chance on it. I didn't even think I was going to do anything. When I said it's a trading card convention, how this gonna go? So I thought it was going to be terrible, but it turned out fine. So so that's another thing. The Collecticon is a good one. I forgot about that. They have about 10 shows a year in a good few different cities. So Fan Expo has about a good 10 shows in a few different cities. So it's a good circle. It's gonna be what I'm trying to say. In your regional area, it's gonna be like a group that hosts a whole bunch of conventions all the way around your regional area. So like I said, I live in Memphis. I try to hit all the ones. So let's say St. Louis, Kansas City, New Orleans, Little Rock, Nashville, Atlanta, Birmingham, Pensacola, you know, all of that. Like I try to hit everyone that's within range. You know what I'm saying? I only flew to one, you know what I'm saying, to Las Vegas, but that's it. So, but I really don't want to do all that because you know that adds overhead costs to it. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing you want to do is you want to keep the overhead costs as low as possible. So I really want to get into the Anime Blues Con here in Memphis because I live here, so I don't have to pay for a hotel, I don't have to pay to drive, I don't have to pay for excess food, eating out and all this and that. I'm just literally leave the house and go to the convention. That's all I got to do. You know, so everything I make from there will just be clean money. Like all I gotta make back is the $300 for my booth fee, and then boom, everything else is clean. So that's that. The ideal thing is to get in a convention relatively close to you, so that way you don't have no hard time. You know what I'm saying, with overhead costs. But if you get into something, what I'm trying to say, if you get into something further, just make sure you put yourself in a position where you're going to be around a whole bunch of people, a large scale convention where people will actually buy your stuff, where you can have enough people coming through that you can be like, okay, I have the opportunity to make thousands of dollars. Let me put myself in position to where I can make this money, and then when I come back home, the overhead costs won't seem like it was that bad. Okay, biggest thing when it comes to getting accepted into conventions. Your first one, you probably need to get into, like I said, a lower scale one, so that you can actually build some experience, because they're gonna look at this when they look to accept you into other ones. Get into a collector con, get into a local small one, so you can see how people display their items. Look at how other content creators and artists and stuff like that display what they have. If they have good stuff, if they selling something similar to you and their display is over the top and all of that, just try to take something from that and add to yours. Take what you like from it and build your display off of that. So, because the presentation is everything. Presentation determines if people are going to shop with you. So that's one thing I would heavily focus on that. You know, I'll try to see if I can find some examples and put them in at the end of this video. But see if you can focus on presentation. Like, I can't stress that enough, because if you trying to get in a convention and I'm trying to get into a convention and our artwork is even, and they you know, contemplating between both of us, and then we both submit our portfolios, but my portfolio looks more professional than yours, my booth looks more professional than yours, then you have to go from there. You know, they're gonna choose me because I'm better. So that's one thing to think about. And then you know, then just make sure you do that, because I think that's very important to do. Let me do it. I know these wasn't in no particular order, but number 2, you need to market to moms. Like, I hate to say that, but that's who you need to market to. Like, because the women of the conventions, who's going in there, bringing their child in there, who likes Marvel, who likes DC, who likes Spider-Man, whatever, that's who's gonna spend the most money. That's who you need to do it, because dad's gonna bring them in there, unless that kid just like really over the top wants it. Dad ain't trying to spend no money. Dad's gonna say, son, let's keep walking around and all this and that. Mom gonna be like, you want this? We getting it right here. Yeah, right now we getting it. So you need to find a way to either market to children or market to moms. So that's gonna be the bulk of it. So, and then that, which leads me into number 3. Be affordable. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you selling, like, be reasonable. Don't have no outlandish prices in there, because that's gonna be difficult. Like with my art prints, the printer I got back here, this Epson printer right here, I got an Epson 8550, whatever, one of those eco tank printers. It prints out, let's say, 200, 300 prints before it needs ink. And the ink costs like $60. So, you know, I can get 200 and 300 prints per $60. So let's say because I sell my 8x11 prints for $5. So if I sell 200 times 5, that's what, $1,000. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you just do it, like, the math will do itself. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you just, now sometimes I don't sell that much, but you know what I'm saying, if you're in a large crowd, then yeah. But I'm saying, like, once you get going, you will see which one of your hot sellers, and then you will make the right prints accordingly. But because I got some prints right now from the first convention that I went to, and I still ain't sold them. but like, once you start selling that, You know what I'm saying? You kind of see what people like. You can kind of focus that, but like make the stuff available. You know what I'm saying? Like the paper is cheap. The paper I get from Amazon is like 200 sheets for like $40. So let's say the ink costs 60, the paper costs 40. So after taxes, it's like 110, and 110 can turn into $1,000 if I sell everything. So you know what I'm saying? And that's just that one pack of paper. If I sell that one pack of paper and I use that one pack of ink, so I normally buy two at a time. So you know what I'm saying? That's something to think about. Like the money is there if you just, or if you're reasonable. Now obviously you don't want to be too much lower than everybody around you, because they're gonna be like, okay, why are you selling your stuff so cheap? Like what's wrong with it, or why are you trying to get rid of it so bad? You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to be too much lower, because then that make everybody else have to lower their prices too. So you don't want to compromise the convention prices. But all I'm saying is be reasonable. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be, now unless you're selling some custom shoes or something. Obviously you can't sell that for $100, but you know what I'm saying? But don't have the stuff that you selling so outrageous that people gonna keep walking past you, because people will vote with their wallet. I'll tell you that right now. And then one thing, this just is my suggestion. This isn't a rule. I would say just get two tables. Like just get two tables, because that 6 foot table is not enough. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you have multiple things you do, get two tables, because you're gonna need it, and you're gonna need them to be side by side. Like you can either you can get an L shape, like a corner table, and you get two of them that's like going in the L. That's cool, because then you can display two different things. But you need two tables if you have a lot of stuff. Like, which leads me to my next point. Why you need two tables is the next point, number 4 or 5, whatever. I don't know. I ain't keeping track. Whatever. Whatever you need, like whatever you make, try to be versatile with the things you make. Try to make, like, for instance, like I don't know if you can see them canvas. So it's canvases back here or whatever. I can't. It's reversed. So it's a stack of canvases back here. I got. Let me see if I can grab one. So this will be one that I sell in Chicago when I go there. So this is a Maja Vegeta one I made. So I have this. I also have this on mouse pads. I have this on prints. I have this on 11x17 prints. Like I have different things that I can use to sell this same image that I painted. This is the original painting, but like I found a way to, you know what I'm saying, once I've painted it once, I can sell the same thing over and over again to a multitude of people. That's the biggest thing I would say to do as far as that. Why you would need two tables is because I have the canvas, I have the mouse pad, I have the print. You know what I'm saying? Then that way it'll help with your, going back to one of the previous points, it'll help with your display as a whole. Like people say, oh, he has all of that, he's selling all of that, she's selling all of that, she has all this stuff that she can offer at our convention. So when people see you have all that, they be like, wow, he has this, he has that. So you know that's something to think about as far as why you would need two tables, because that space will shrink up real quick, and you will find out. And then which that will lead to my next point is, if you have anybody that can travel with you and help you, please do that too, because you're gonna need some help. But like, because you better pack your own food. I'm telling you, because you will starve in there. You will starve. Like I'm talking about, go get you a pizza the day before and put it in some Tupperware or something, and eat you some room temperature pizza, because that's how you gonna eat. I'm telling you, you're gonna be there for 9-10 hours a day, each one of the days, and you can't leave your booth. You can't go get no food. You better, unless you make friends with the guy that's next to you. But if you do that and you get up and walk away, you might miss some customers when you gone. And those lines at the convention are ridiculously long. So that's something to think about. You know, take somebody with you in order to so you can have somebody cover your booth, have somebody to talk to while you're there. Otherwise, you're gonna have to make friends. You know what I'm saying? Which everybody's not social. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause you may get stuck next to a weirdo. Like, I'll tell you that right now. You may get stuck to somebody. Like, do this man even talk? Has he came out the dark? Is Batman, does Batman live with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be all type of stuff. So, you know, that's the type of stuff you deal with when you go there, because you will see a lot of like weird people, and you know what I'm saying. And you know, I don't judge, but it's like, you know, like come on, like we can have a basic conversation. So you know, that's the next thing. So make sure you have somebody with you. Like a lot of times my girlfriend goes, my aunt, like I have family that lives in Kansas City, so I like every time I go over there, my aunt, my grandma, they'll be at the convention with me. My brother went with me one time, so you know, it's stuff like that that you have, that you need to, you know, and it keeps you motivated. Like when you see people buying your stuff and you got your family that's supporting you, it keeps you motivated. So my next thing is find out what your target audience is. Who are you targeting? You know what I'm saying? What are you selling? So like, let's say for example, this Vegeta piece I just made right here, right? Like this particular piece will sell at an anime convention. But if I go to let's say a fan expo, like that's more of a pop culture convention. So Vegeta will sell because people like, you know, people in our age range, like, well, my age range, I'm 31. People like Dragon Ball Z. We grew up on Dragon Ball Z, but at the same time, it's not everybody's cup of tea. So like, it's people who know who Iron Man is because of the Marvel movies, but they don't necessarily know who Vegeta is. They might have saw him before, but they don't know who he is. You know, they know about Dragon Ball Z, they know about the Screaming and Hollering, but they don't know who the characters are. They don't know the importance of them, the depth of them. So you can't expect somebody who halfway follows Marvel because of the movies to be interested in a Vegeta painting. So you got to know who you targeting. And then the main thing with those is when you go into a pop culture convention, the American stuff tends to sell better. You need to focus on Spider-Man, Batman, Iron Man, Hulk, like people like that, like Starfire, you know, who's Harley Quinn, you know, people like that. Those will be the people that sell better at a pop culture convention with, you know, people cosplaying as you know, who I say, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, stuff like that. People more cosplay that. You got to go to an anime convention to focus on anime. I mean, I know people gonna buy it, but it's not what you think it would be. Like you would be surprised that like people will literally walk past anime stuff and pick up a Static Shock over a Goku piece, and you be like, bro, Static Shock is nowhere near as popular as Goku, but it's just where we at. So that's one thing I would emphasize too, is pay attention to where you're going. If you're going to an anime convention, then focus your pieces that you're taking there, focus up for those to be on an anime. If you're going to a pop culture convention where everything's gonna be there, focus more on Marvel, DC, Star Wars, you know, anything like that. You know, I'm forgetting some stuff, but you know, video game characters, all of that type of stuff. Focus on those type of characters. Focus on those type of people when you're making work like that. So that way, when you're there, the people who shop in there can relate to what you're offering. And then mainly the last thing I would say is just have fun. You know what I'm saying? Go into it with the expectation to not make money. That's the best thing I can tell you, because you don't know whether or not you will. And I would hope that you would, but you'll have to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, go into it with the expectation to not make money. If you do that, then you'll be fine. If you then you might, whatever happens, you'll be okay with. And be prepared. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, be prepared to fail on your first one. Be prepared not to make any money. That's why I said start with a lower tier, and because you have to learn what people like you for, if that makes sense. Learn why people want to shop with you. Why do people want to shop with Nick 901? You know what I'm saying? Why like, okay, I noticed, okay, well, people like me because of the shoes more than anything. Like, yeah, they like the canvas. Yeah, it's cool. Like, it look good on the wall back there. You know what I'm saying? People like that. But that's not the main thing. You know what I'm saying? People will buy one just because they see me and they support me. But you know what I'm saying? But that's not why they follow me. They follow me because of the shoes. I know that. So that's why I make some and take them everywhere I go, just so I can show people that I know how to do them. And this is, you know what I'm saying, I'm still that dude when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? So have fun and understand why people shopping with you, and understand why people like you. So and always be open to criticism. Always be open to feedback. That's one thing I learned. I don't know if you paid attention to history in school. It was one of them Greek philosophers, I want to say is Aristotle or something, said the only true wisdom in this world is knowing that you know nothing. So what I took from that is being open to new information. I always understand that your worldview can change at any moment. So it's somebody like I could go meet Serato or one of these other famous guys who've been customizing shoes for years, and they teach me something I ain't never seen before. So, so you always got to be open to that, open to criticism, and expect people to dislike your stuff too. Yeah, that's another thing. Expect people to dislike your stuff. Everybody's not gonna like you. Like I said, I had people tell me that I'm promoting slave labor, like because I'm putting Nike shoes on canvases or because I'm working on Nike shoes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you get all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like just have thick skin, you know what I'm saying, take the criticism on the chin and then keep moving forward, like, because that's all you can do. I sound like Aaron from Attack on Titan, but honestly that's the truth. Just keep moving forward. Like if there's something you want to do, be prepared to learn, be prepared to go to the grind, and keep working on your craft, keep working on your art, and find out what people actually like about your artwork, what's your edge that make you stick out from anybody else. That's another thing. Like people ask me all the time, why you put a shoe with Vegeta? Like, because who else you done seen put a shoe on a canvas? Like, for real, who else you done seen do that? So, and it's a good little edge, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I bring in two groups. So another thing about this too, where I will say, like, why I started doing it, what's your edge, is because I figured out to put shoes on there. Now I open myself up to go to other conventions, because now I went to Chicago and I went to a sneaker con convention, and I made like $1,000 just off and it was one day. It was a one-day convention. It was like for 4 hours. So I made $1,000 in like 4 hours. So that's something you can think about. Like, make like expand what you can do. So like I said, paint shoes on there opened me up to taking it to sneakerheads. And I paint like I don't know if this is a real shoe, because I made like this particular paint. I made this shoe up. I don't know. It might be a real shoe. That look like something I can make. But a lot of the paintings that I've done on canvases, they are actually real shoes. So so that's one thing to think about. So like when I go to these sneaker cons and stuff like that, and people who have that real shoe see that canvas, they want it. You know what I'm saying? They don't like, and if I put somebody who's remotely recognizable who matches it, they're gonna buy it. So that's one thing. That's one thing to think about. So that's why I want you guys to know about going to conventions. It's fun. It's very enjoyable. You will like it. You know what I'm saying? It's a very family friendly environment. The only thing about it is they stink half the time. They stink. The lines are long. You know what I'm saying? It'll bring your food before you go. Bring you go stop at Walmart, get you a 24 pack of water. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to need it. You know what I'm saying? Bring somebody with you. I'm talking about, like, just make sure you cover all your T's and cross all your T's and dot all your I's before you go, so you can take care of yourself, so that way you won't be starving there. But the experience in itself is great. You know what I'm saying? And if you put in the work, the money will be there. I would say on average, I make probably about $3,000 to $4,000 a convention. You know what I'm saying? So like, and that's after the overhead. You know what I'm saying? Let me think. I'm saying that's after the overhead. So if you go and you take enough stuff, I sell my stuff relatively cheap though. So my prints I normally sell 3 for $10. They either 1 for $5 or 3 for $10. So you can get three for $10. So that's relatively cheap. But I make so many of them that it doesn't hurt. Like, yeah, I'm cutting into I can make more money, but I want people to have my artwork. So that's my main thing. I want people to have it. So I want every single person that come to my table to buy something. You know what I'm saying? That's my goal. So so I sell that. I normally do that, and a lot of times the shoes will carry a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll take orders and stuff like that. So the shoes and stuff like that will carry a lot of that. And then the canvases will carry a lot too. So it just depends. I have a good mix of my customer base, because that's why I said be versatile in the things that you sell. Because of my mouse pads and stuff like this. See, I have mouse pads. I don't know if I said that, but my mouse pads sell too. So I sell those for $5 as well, and they sell very well. So that's another thing. Just make sure that you're versatile and and you give yourself a bunch of opportunities to capture a person. Don't just say, oh, I like his artwork, but I don't need a canvas. Okay, you can get this print. If you just want to support and spend $5 instead of the $60 for a canvas or whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever you charging for it, you know what I'm saying, here go a print for $5. If you just want to support, just $5 is cool. You don't even have to do that much. So, but I've been rambling for a while. I just want you guys to know that if you're looking to do that, it's a fun thing to do. Especially it's a good way to it's a good way to get a free trip too. So like the last convention I went to was in March in Kansas City. So I just had a newborn baby, so that's the reason why I haven't done anything. But the last one I went to was in March. So what I was about to say, and basically you get a free trip to wherever you go. So basically you'll spend the overhead up front, but you're gonna get it back as soon as you get there. So what I do is I take that overhead and I just pay it forward to the next convention. That's the same thing. I rebook the one I'm at and then pay the overhead costs back into the next convention. That's all you got to do, and then you can keep the cycle going. It's like once you get in it, you can stay. You can keep rotating. You can keep rotating the money. Just keep pushing it in. Just keep going to different places, making money. And once you're there, like, cause once you sail at the convention, if you want to stay one more day, you can go tour the city and be fine and have fun doing that. So that's one thing I hope you guys can you guys can take away from this video, is if you're willing to go and put the work in and really learn and understand what it takes to be successful at that. Like I really hope the best for you, and I really hope that you can get out there and do it, because it like now, especially me, it ain't a lot of us in there, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not as far as selling, you know what I'm saying? So if you're talented and you want to get out there and stuff like that, you know, you may feel uncomfortable at first, but you know, oh well, we here to make money. I don't care who in there. I don't have to talk to nobody. I would like to make friends with everybody, but I don't have to. I'm here for business. So, you know, just go in there, have fun, do your best, and let the chips fall where they may. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was unorganized, but I gave the tips as best as I could. So like, comment, subscribe, leave me a comment on anything you want to know about anything else, or if you want to, you got a very specific question, let me know about that. But other than that, I'm gonna get back with you guys in the next video. Bye.